Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is Leanne Schweitzer, and I feel deep appreciation for you prioritizing some time in your busy schedule to be here. I feel so much excitement to share with you about something that is near and dear to my heart and soul, something that I am so passionate about. And so I've titled this presentation, The Element of Water. A journey into the intelligence of water and the embodiment of true health. And so, before we get into the element of water, I would like to sell you something. You're like, wait, what? No. Who hates being sold to, right? Oh my gosh. So, before we get into it, who would buy this pen for $5,000? This beautiful, brilliant blue pen for $5,000. You're probably like, wait, what are you even talking about, Leanne? And so I want to start off today with some storytelling. And so a long, long time ago, a man and a woman fell in love. And they decided that they wanted to have a baby. And so they made that happen, and the woman became pregnant, and they wanted a baby boy so dearly. They named this baby John, and they bought all the blue things for the nursery, and birthday came, and little Johnny did not have a penis. There was vagina, and they wanted John so badly that they named the baby Joe and still dress Joe up in blue clothes. And for the majority of Joe's life, she felt very unloved. And a few years later, Joe's mom ended up passing away, and Joe's dad ended up running away with the secretary. And so at a very young age, Joe was left familyless. And eventually, Joe found love, and they decided to have a baby as well too. And they got pregnant. 9 months later, this baby did not have a penis either. This baby had a vagina, and Joe named this baby Jessica, and she decided that she was going to love this baby no matter what. Unfortunately, though, her husband and their relationship did not last, and she ended up becoming a single mom, and life was really, really hard. She barely had enough to feed herself. She was feeding Jessica first and then ate what was left over for herself. She had to borrow money to pay rent by the end of the month, most months. And she prayed every single night to the stars, like, please, please give Jessica an amazing life. And so Jessica turned about 4 years old, and they were playing at this park one day, and Jessica kicked the ball and it went way out in left field, and it landed by this tree. And so Joe ran to go get the ball, and it's like way out there, and she is digging in these leaves to find this ball. And lo and behold, what did Joe find? This bottle right here. She found this bottle, and she took it home, and she heard a whisper. This is ink. Use this ink to write a book. This book will be read by millions of people. And she was like, what? So she disregarded it. She went to bed and was woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning once again. This is ink. Use this to write a book. This book will be loved by millions and millions of people. And so she didn't get up just then. She went back to bed because she was a mama to a 4-year-old, had to get some sleep, and got up later and then played with Jessica and then put her down for a nap. And she grabbed a pen and filled it up with this ink and opened up her journal, and the words just started writing. There was a boy, and he had a scar on his head, and he lived in a cupboard, and he went to Hogwarts, and she just kept writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. And eventually, within a few days, she had written an entire book. And she went to publisher after publisher after publisher, and they all denied her. They all denied her. They all denied her. And she prayed, what do I do next? What do I do next? And she heard a voice, go back to the tree, go back to the tree. And so they went back to the park, back to the tree, and poof, there was a big bird. A heron, a large heron with these beautiful golden feathers and this bright light, but it wasn't blinding, it was glorious. And 5 feathers fell off the bird, and then the bird disintegrated into the air. So she grabbed all 5 of the feathers, she picked them up, and she went back to her house, and she put the feathers down next to the book, next to the ink, and she heard a voice. Put the feather on the pen. So she attached the feather to the pen, she filled it up with ink, and she went back and started writing, started editing it, and woke up the next day with this sense of clarity, this sense of certainty. And she took the book to a publisher. It became clear to her. She went to this publisher and she walked in and she had this certainty about her. She was like, I have this book and this boy, and he has a scar and he lived in a cupboard. And I'm going to write 5. And she was like, please just give me 2 minutes of your time. And the publisher, he didn't give her 2 minutes. He let her speak for hours and hours and hours, and she shared how she had 5 other books waiting to be written. She went on and on and on. So much excitement, and he signed her on the spot. She went home and she had this certainty. She ate food and knew that everything was about to shift for her. And sure enough, the book got published. She went to her first book signing, and she had an enormous line of people waiting to get their book signed. She signed books for hours and hours and hours. And her hand should have gotten tired, but she had this magical pen, and she just wrote and wrote and wrote. Not until there was no more people, until it was the wee hours of the night and the store had clothes. And she had that pen, and she had 4 other pens as well too. She gave one to the author who wrote the Twilight book series, and now she gave me the other 3 pens, and I have them here to share with you. This woman is J.K. Rowling, and the book is The Sorcerer's Stone. And these pens, they give you the ability to write copyright like no other. They give you the ability to write ads and funnels and all of the things. These pens right here. And so, will you buy this pen for $5,000? You're like, yeah, heck yeah, I want that pen. Give me that pen, right? And so, the moral of the story, right? A pen is just a pen until you give it value, right? The same thing with water, right? The majority of society believes that water is just water, right? They see water as a thing, not as a being, not as a consciousness, right? Tap, bottled, reverse osmosis water, these are all dead, acidic, oxidizing. True hydration is structured, hydrogen rich, living water. And when water is alive, it heals, right? So long before science measured it, our ancestors felt it, right? Across cultures, these grandmothers, part of the indigenous Anishinaabe nation of North America, they walked thousands of miles to sing to the rivers, carrying copper vessels in prayer because to them, water is life. In India, the Ganges River is not just a body of water, it's a Ganga Ma, a living goddess. Bathing in her sacred current is a ritual of rebirth, purification, and devotion. And in Japan, the practice of misogi invites practitioners to stand beneath cold waterfalls or immerse themselves in flowing rivers. This ancient Shinto ritual, it cleanses the body, mind, and spirit, returning one to spiritual purity, right? These traditions remind us that water isn't just water, right? It's not just something that we drink. Water is a mirror. Water is medicine. And water is a messenger. And when we treat it with reverence, it responds. Cheers to that. So here's the forgotten truth about water. The problem, right? Why most water isn't helping you heal? Tap water often contains chlorine and fluoride and pharmaceutical residues, birth controls, right? Bottled water is acidic. It's stored in plastic and it is stripped of life force. Reverse osmosis removes harmful substances and also the beneficial minerals, leaving the water dead, right? And so when I refer to the word dead, dead water is stagnant, right? Dead water is stagnant. That's tap water, that's bottled water, that's anything sitting in the bottom of a gravity fed filter, right? This water is dead. And water in nature is alive and abundant and free flowing, right? Most modern water is oxidizing, contributing to cellular stress and aging, right? We live in a society that has normalized sickness, right? We've got autoimmune diseases, cancers, obesity, diabetes, heart conditions. These are symptoms of a system designed to profit from illness rather than cultivate wellness. And the root cause of all of these is dehydration. And we've got a chemical overload. right? Toxins have infiltrated every corner of our lives, from the cleaning products we use to the foods that we eat. The chemical load on our bodies is relentless. And this is what leads to chronic health problems and a future where wellness is harder to achieve, right? And so water remembers, and the intelligence of water responds to you, right? Water isn't just physical, it is energetic. It holds memory and it's shaped by vibration. Every word, every thought, and emotion you express leaves an imprint on your internal waters. Right, Dr. Mazura Emoto's experiments showed that water exposed to loving words formed beautiful crystalline patterns, while water exposed to hatred or fear becomes chaotic and distorted. Right, same thing with Beta Austin's work that she has done with water, right? She puts water in a petri dish and places it on top of pictures and puts it into the freezer and freezes it for 5 minutes until it gets into that glacier state. And then you literally can see the picture, like water holds the memory, water remembers. And your body, which is made mostly of water, it responds in the same way, right? So this is a truth. Your body is at least 70% water. Your eyes, your blood, 94, 95% water. Your brain is water. Your body is water. The earth is 70% water. The moon is 70% water. And so I'm going to share a little story with you. I'm not making any health claims, but about 3 years ago, my husband was struggling with asthma and he had a prescription for an inhaler. And he used this inhaler many times a day, 6, 7, 8 times a day. And at the time, he was waking up in the middle of the night and he was wheezing and he couldn't breathe. And it was so scary seeing the person that you love not being able to breathe. And I'm like, Roger, we have got to get this figured out. And so we made an appointment with a functional medicine doctor, a naturopathic doctor, and she did a bunch of tests that traditional doctors weren't doing. And one of the tests was a GI test, a poop test. And the poop test came back saying that his body was only absorbing nutrients from 20% of the food that he was eating. And at the time, we were like flabbergasted, like, what? We were eating, all organic, all grass fed. Like we were very intentional about the food that we ate, and his body wasn't absorbing the nutrients. And so it was like mind blowing. And so we were praying and asking for an answer. And in that same week, one of my dear friends shared with me a masterclass just like this one that you're watching or that you're attending live. And in this masterclass, the presenter said this water helps your body absorb more nutrients from food. It was like an aha moment, like, oh my gosh, we have found the answer to our prayers. And so we invested, and 3 weeks into drinking this water, and I watched my husband use his inhaler less and less and less and less. And now it's been 3 years, and he no longer even has a prescription for an inhaler at all. And so what I really want you to understand is that the quality of the water that you drink, it matters just as much as the quantity, right? The what and why of healthy hydration. Proper hydration is the foundation of your health. And 75% of the population is chronically dehydrated. 75% of the population is chronically dehydrated. They are not drinking 8 glasses of high quality water. In fact, some people don't even drink water. They drink Gatorade and Pepsi and soda, right? They They are dehydrated, and water carries nutrients to our cells. It aids with digestion, it flushes out toxins, and is the key to our body and brain functioning properly. The quality of water matters, and filtering cleans the water, which is great because this is step one of the process. We want clean water, yes, and it's still dead water, right? Dead water, stagnant. Water in nature is not meant to sit like that, right? Water is meant to move, to flow, and to be alive, right? So filtering your water is the first step. Where can you learn about what exactly is in your water? Go to ewg.org/tapwater and find out exactly what is in your water. Here in Bend, Oregon, we actually have a high percentage of arsenic. So I have a pre-filter that filters out arsenic. It's crazy, right? Arsenic in your water, right? Most of us grew up drinking tap water, but when you know better, you do better, right? And so now I want to share with you about this miracle healing water. In the 1950s, scientific research was conducted in several unique locations around the world. For thousands of years, these places have maintained legendary status as a natural source for miracle water. Lourdes, France, Tecate, Mexico, Germany, India, in Mount Shasta, California, where I just recently visited, I got to experience some of this miracle healing water, right? And so it was discovered that this water at all of these locations had one thing in common: an abundance of active hydrogen, which today is known as alkalized water. And so the secret of longevity in water in Okinawa, Japan, one of the blue zones of the world, and if you're not familiar, the blue zones are where the people live to be the healthiest and live to be the longest. On average, in Okinawa, they live to be 120 years old, right? So this is where people are known for having the highest percentage of centennials and a lower incidence of chronic disease like heart disease and cancer. And so, ionizing your water is the second step, right? When you ionize filtered water, it literally brings it back to life. Think about electrocuting water, right? This is what electrolysis is. This is splitting the molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. And why is that important? This is called reducing your water. It's going to give it a slight negative charge, which then microclusters the water and it hydrates your cells more efficiently. Although the negative charge is playing a really powerful role in helping our bodies hydrate and detox up to 6 times faster than dead water, it's not the negative charge alone that is providing all the support. It's the creation of the H2 or molecular hydrogen through the electrolysis, which is the real superpower of our systems, right? H2, also known as diatopic molecular hydrogen, serves as a powerful selective antioxidant in our bodies. And there are over 1,100 studies showing its power in reducing inflammation, providing neuroprotection, enhancing our immune systems, and so much more. And it's also been noted that inflammation is the root of 90% of diseases. And how amazing is it to know that you can drink water daily that helps to reduce inflammation? That's why this is the best water for hydration. This water helps your body absorb more nutrition from food and from juice and from supplements, right? It's the best way to detox by getting it in and out of a cell quickly, right? So I like to share the example of a chain link fence, right? So you've got a chain link fence at a baseball field and you've got a baseball, right? So that baseball goes up to the chain link fence, and imagine that's the tap water, right? It cannot penetrate into the cells because it's so big. And so what this machine does is it literally breaks it down into marbles, right? And so now you've got these marbles, and now the marbles can go through the chain link fence, right? And so that's what's happening with your skin is literally it's penetrating and it's hydrating your skin, right? So that's why it's the best way to detox. And did you know it can take 7 to 12 years and millions of dollars for a medical device to be approved for public use? Right, so that's 7 years in the US and up to 12 in Japan. Japan has such high standards. And so why I trust Enagic for water ionization, they started in 1974. June 2025 marks 52 years. And they started off in Japanese hospitals. Today, they have offices in 43 locations in 26 different countries. And what separates them from any other water ionizer on the market is that they are an original equipment manufacturer, right? So OEM means that they are made from scratch. One technician makes one machine from beginning to end out of Japan. And Japan, like I said, they have a very strict code of guidelines enforced by Japanese government. And Enagic has been a certified medical grade device in Japan for nearly 50 years. It was used in hospitals for over 3 decades before it was ever released to the public in 2003. That's how deeply rooted this technology is in wellness and healing, right? It wasn't until 2003 that this got distributed to homes in America, right? So it's barely penetrated the market. And it's recommended by hundreds of holistic doctors, including my own now. I introduced her to it, functional medicine practitioners, chiropractors, and more all over the world. And Japanese surgeon Dr. Hiromi Shinya, yes, the same doctor who pioneered modern colonoscopy techniques, has done over 370,000 of them. He includes Kangen water in his gut healing protocol. Most people are shocked when they hear how affordable it actually is to own this medical grade device that began in hospitals, and now you can have this in your home. Less than $50 a week to own something that can support your family's health for 20 years and beyond. This company's been around for 50 plus years, and there are people that have had the original machine, right? So put this into perspective. If you were receiving hospital treatment in Japan with this water, which they do, you'd be paying thousands more without owning the machine or being able to use it daily in your home. And so let's clear something up. There are no true competitors. None. Zero. Other machines or bottled waters might claim they filter, claim they ionize, claim they alkalize, but they are not producing true electrolyzed reduced water, ERW, like Enagic does. ERW, electrolyzed reduced water, is the scientific term. If you decide you want to go do your own research, go to Google, Scholar, PubMed, type in ERW, electrolyzed reduced water, hydrogen water, to read all about all the studies, right? And so here's the thing though. Kangen water is alkalized, not just alkaline. And these machines, these other machines, these competitors are not approved medical devices in Japan. So how could they possibly be the same quality, right? So the difference between, oh, and I see a spelling error there. The difference between alkaline and alkalized, alkaline is a chemical change, right? So if you've ever seen those bottled waters that claim alkaline, ionized, right? Bottled water. First of all, this water cannot be bottled. It needs to be drank within 24 to 48 hours or the charge dissipates, right? And so what these bottled waters are doing, if you spin it around to the back, there's a list of ingredients on there. And so they are adding baking soda, they're adding chemicals, right, to the water. So when you test it, when you put a test strip in, it comes out purple, it comes out alkaline, right? And this is why, if you have ever Googled, is alkaline water bad for you? This is the reason why, because drinking water with baking soda with chemicals in it over time, this is bad for your stomach pH. Drinking water should never have ingredients, right? And so Alkalized water, alkalized is an electrolysis process. There are 8 titanium plates dipped in platinum, and when platinum and water come together with electricity, then hydrogen will give up an electron, right? In the creation of this water, we create an antioxidant power in the water, although it fades quickly and it cannot be bottled. Right. So, oh, I guess I already shared this, but if you're still skeptical, you can go onto PubMed or Google Scholar and look it up, right? Electrolyzed reduced water. And I want to encourage you to ask yourself the question, if your information is it coming from a blog or a competing brand with something to sell? It's worth asking, are they sharing truth or are they protecting profit? And so let's use some logic here, right? If this company was a scam, would it be thriving globally for nearly 5 decades with offices around the world, 23 countries, 46 offices, and be a certified medical approved device in Japan? And so now we're going to talk about the antioxidant power of water. So ORP, I've got an ORP meter. When I do in-person demos, I can literally put it in and show you the oxidation reduction potential, which is simply a measure of how much energy your water gives or steals from your body. And most bottled and tap water is a positive ORP. Every single one of them, they're all positive, which is oxidizing, which is aging and depleting. It's literally stealing electrons, right? So electrolyzed reduced water is a negative ORP. It's antioxidant rich and it's electron giving, right? So a negative ORP means your water is a force of life, reducing inflammation, slowing aging. I'm almost 40 years old and I literally feel like I'm anti-aging. And it's fueling cellular repair. And that's not all, right? So there are over 68 different uses of this machine. I've got a PDF that explains it all. If you want to check out the PDF, shoot me a message. I will get that over to you, right? So we're going to get back to nature, right? This isn't just about us, our healing. This is also about healing planet Earth, healing Mama Gaia, right? Saving the planet by eliminating single-use plastics, right? There is a plastic epidemic going on right now. And so this water, at the push of a button, you gain access to 5 other types of water that are going to replace all of the toxic chemicals in your home, turning your house into a non-toxic sanctuary. And if you have small children like me that lick everything, it gives you that peace of mind, right? And so my favorite water is the beauty water, right? It's not for drinking. The machine's going to beep at you. The skin's natural pH is between 5.4 and 5.9, which is slightly acidic. This is why acidic water is 100% effective natural way to return the skin and hair to its natural pH. It is terrific to use for gentle cleaning, replaces your Windex, cleans your mirrors, your glasses, and replaces your beauty gear. I actually turn the beauty water on every single morning and splash it on my face. I put it in a little spray bottle and spray it throughout the day. My naturopath, when she got started, the thing that she was most surprised by, she has luxurious, beautiful curly hair, and she actually used the 6.0 as conditioner, and she was completely blown away by it. So you also gain access to the strong acidic water, which is 2.5, right? Hypochlorous acid. This is the body's natural immune fighter, a substance produced in white blood cells to keep the body healthy. It is the antimicrobial ingredient in pH 2.5, which is going to kill 99.999% of germs, and it's non toxic to humans and animals. You can use strong acidic water to clean your kitchen utensils, countertops, and more to help you prevent cross contamination. And this water is how Japan got a certified medical grade device, because what they were doing is using the 2.5 to sanitize medical equipment in between surgeries, right? So a 2.5 pH, when sold as wound care, it retails at $2,100, right, for a small bottle. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you get the strong Kangen water, the strong alkaline water, which acts as a degreaser and an emulsifier, most commonly used for removing oil and pesticides from fruits and vegetables. Which I do in person demos, and I literally will soak the fruits and veggies in there and you can see what happens. But what's mind blowing is you can actually taste it, and you can taste the difference. I literally had people at water demos be like, hand me their credit card and be like, sign me up. Like they taste it and they're like, I'm in, right? And so this can also be used as a household cleaner. My husband uses the 11.5 to clean his bike chain. We use the 11.5 to replace our laundry detergent in our home. Like there are so many incredible uses. Saving the average family of four $2,000 per year, right? These machines, they reduce consumerism and plastics, and they are great for the environment, great for the planet, people, and profit, right? The lifespan of the machine is 25 years, right? 25 years times $2,000, saving you $50,000 with your one-time investment, right? And Enagic's mission is for you to experience true health. And what I mean by true health is mind, body, and soul, mental health, physical health, and financial health. And so Enagic has an incredible referral program. You understand the importance of water in your everyday life. So let's talk about how you can change your water, change your life. And so you're probably like, what exactly do you do, Leanne? Do you know two of the most Googled questions right now are how do I create extra income and how do I improve my health and well being? These aren't just random questions, they reflect a global crisis. Right now, people are facing a dual pandemic, sickness and financial instability. The truth, more than ever, individuals are searching for ways to not only survive, but also thrive, right? It is time to take control of your health and wealth, because the solutions are out there waiting for you, right? People out there have real problems and real dreams and goals for how they would rather live and earn. And you simply connect them with our solution. And when they buy, you get paid a commission. And this is an untapped market. The global water ionizer market was valued at 2.3 billion in 2021 and is expected to expand at a rate of 6.94% during the forecasted period, but reaching 3.4 billion by 2027, right? So we are currently in the acceleration phase. We have penetrated about 1% of the market. It's been expected to go into momentum between 2025 and 2027, which is where we are now. 2023, we did $1.3 billion in sales. January of 2024 was our biggest month. February was even bigger. March was even bigger. The entire year of 2024, we've been on exponential growth, and same with 2025. The better time to get started was yesterday. The best time is now. And so with your purchase, you unlock global distribution rights at no additional cost. This is in the direct sales. That's their certification of direct sales, right? And so just for an example, I'm going to show you our flagship ionizer, the K8, which is valued at $5,480, one-time investment, and we've got payment plans. We've got many different options, many different financing ways for you to get started for as low as $200 to $250 a month, right? Just like you get when you buy a car or a home, right? You get to pay for it over the course of time and depending on how many years, right? And so with this, you unlock an 8-point commission structure. This is a fair for all commission structure, and Enagic Nagic believes that the distributor deserves to get paid first, and so where you are, however many, whatever rank you are in the company is how many pieces of pie you get. You get to earn up to 8 pieces, right? And so the person that introduces you to a Nagic, they get the remaining slices of the pie, right? So it's an 8 point system. When you get started, you're a 1 point agent. You receive $351, and my goal is for you to earn all 8 pieces of the pie as quickly as possible. I want you earning $2,808 in total commission for one sale as quickly as possible. This is life changing income. Life changing income. One sale, $2,808. 9 referral commissions to receive full return on investment, right? You can see right here, 1A is sales 1 to 2, you receive 351, 351, and then you close out that 1A lane for life. You move into your 2A lane, and sales 3 through 10, you receive $702, right? So you can see right here, 9 sales, Hannah has earned $5,616. She has received her full return on investment, and now everything from here on out is return on investment. It's profit from here on out, right? And we're just getting started, right? You can see when you get up to a 6 point agent, right? $2,106. Success, love, speed, right? Enagic has 4 core products. An ionizer that we've been talking about, the Anespa, is for your shower unit, right? Change your water, change your life. Your skin is your largest organ, and the water that you're bathing in, it matters, right? We also have our Ukon, our turmeric supplement, which is grown in Kangen water. We all know how amazing it is for, antioxidants and inflammation, all those things, right? And this is literally the cleanest turmeric out there. I take my Ukon every single day. And then most recently, we came out with the M Guard, which is your environment harmonizer, right? There's EMFs all around, right? Your cell phones, your computers, your all the things, the TVs and stuff, right? And so you can see here, right on the left is a single K8. When you get started with all 4 products, right? Success, love, speed, you can earn even more money even quicker. And one of the best perks of Enagic is our long-term vision and generational wealth, right? Like I said, Enagic closed $1.3 billion in sales in 2023, and they paid 800 million to distributors. 800 million to distributors. Not many people can say they have such generosity from a company, right? And people trust and buy from people they know. So instead of spending money on sales marketing, Enagic puts the power into the distributor's hands, puts the money back into their pockets, investing $0 in sales and marketing. And Enagic also set up a bonus program that starts when you unlock 6A, right? And so this is what changed my whole entire life when I saw this opportunity for a real career path, right? Right there in the middle, 6A2-3 unlocks legacy income that is willable to your children, right? At the time I had a tiny baby. I think she was only, what was she, like 2 or 3 years old. And I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to set her up for life. And that's my vision. That's my goal. And not only for me, but to help as many other people, right? The thing about it is that, with traditional business, right, there's one CEO at the top and only one person can get to the top, but there is unlimited numbers of CEO. You get to become the CEO of your own life, and there is no cap. There's no cap. And there's no prerequisites. It doesn't matter if you have a college degree or a GED, if your race, your age, your color. Well, I guess you have to be 18 or over, technically. We have people that are, retired in their retirement phase of life. We have people that are literally 18 years old, ripe out of college. We have everything in between. There is no prerequisites. Anybody and everybody gets an equal opportunity to become the CEO of their own life, creating a world of abundance, right? Imagine what is possible